Love, light, and blessings. This is Shamanic Awak Priestess here. I can't guarantee this is going to be a quick video today. Mm, I'm drinking some coffee with some pumpkin spice creamer. So good. I've been into that and chocolate mocha. I think it's peppermint mocha creamer too. So good. But I'm in between readings. I worked most of this morning and then I have some evening readings today. I'm gonna finish up a little bit earlier than usual because I have some pre things I'm gonna make for Thanksgiving, and then I'm going to be staying over at the home that I'm gonna be making dinner at because I'm gonna be cooking at the family's home, not in my actual apartment because I have so many people that are coming. I have a two-floor house, but it's kind of small. And this family member actually has like a yard. It's a bigger house. So for all the people that are coming over, it's just easier logistically for me to cook in somebody else's home. I think they're making the dessert, and then I'm gonna make like the main dishes and things like that. And some people are gonna bring some sides. So it's another reason why I'm making Wednesday's video on a Tuesday. But in my one of my last videos, I talked about upcoming videos that I wanted to make, and one of them was a video on exorcisms. I don't know what I'm gonna title this video yet. Um, I usually make notes when I make videos so I don't ramble on, but this one I kind of just want to freestyle it. So a disclaimer before I start: not everyone believes in demons or negative spirits and things like that, and that is perfectly okay. But I have catered my channel to my particular path. Of course, everybody's welcome to join and comment, and I love when you guys comment, so please like, subscribe, and comment on this video. But I'm just going to talk from my personal experience and from things I've seen with other people. For those of you that are new to my channel, or those of you that don't know, yes, I do psychic readings on a full-time basis. I am a psychic medium. I'm clairaudient, clairvoyant, clairsentient, and things of that nature. However, I also am a psychic medium. I have seen spirits since I was little. One of my earliest memories was 5. I've seen spirits, a lot of spiritual activity at the age of 9, because my mom, like I told a lot of people, she did dabble in spirituality. Witchcraft was something I grew up around with a lot of my family members. I've seen it. Back then, people were not so open about it. It wasn't until I joined the YouTube community and watched a lot of pagan videos and things like that, or new age videos, where I see people are a little bit more open. They never entitled themselves witches, but that's what, now that I've done research and things, that's what they were doing. They were practicing witchcraft. So I've seen people communicate with spirits from the other side. I was someone that did not like doing that, and I used to be very scared of them and kind of tried to pray them away and ask them to leave and things like that, because I noticed that a lot of spirits that wanted to give messages a lot of them didn't have boundaries, and they would wake me up or keep me up all night, or wake me up at 3 o'clock in the morning when I had to go to school, and I became an insomniac. Especially during my middle school years, I literally had the most darkest circles under my eyes, and I was barely sleeping, and it was really hard for me to stay awake at school and things of that nature. And my mom didn't really know because she was working in a factory overnight and stuff like that. And my mom did work in a lot of sweatshops and places that they weren't the most nicest employers, put it that way, because she did migrate here and her first language was not English. So she had to get a lot of jobs that a lot of, even though she wasn't illegal, she got a lot of jobs that illegal immigrants did that nobody else wanted to do, and the pay was really, really, really bad. It was very low, and she had to work in conditions that no one should have to work under, and things like that. So she didn't have the money to provide us with a child care provider, so it will be my older sister, which wasn't the most responsible at times, watching us and things when my mother worked overnight. So she didn't know I was having those kinds of problems. And there wasn't much communications with my mom growing up. So it was like hard for me to communicate that with her too as well. But anyway, so like I had said in other videos, I have always been one that has walked between this world and the outer, like the other realm or the other dimension or the other existence where the spirits, the world where the spirits reside. Um, so I have been a person who's done that. I have watched my mom perform exorcisms on people growing up, and I've seen some scary things. Um, that nothing that I've seen yet, knock on wood, has too much surprised me because I've seen it all, to be honest. Um, I learned a lot from my last two exorcisms that I performed. Um, Last weekend that just passed was the first weekend that I actually was able to be home with my kids in a long time. I got to really catch up with some workings that I have pending and sleep and things like that. Um, so like I said, I have seen a lot of exorcisms and things in my lifetime. What I've learned a lot from these things is there are certain people that are more open. So in my case, like I said, I walk between the worlds. So there are people that are naturally gifted and can actually see spirits. And so those people, which a lot of people call sensitives, sometimes are more prone not only to attracting spirits that want to help you, but spirits of the malicious kind. And I've seen people's personalities change with these spirits. They're not always necessarily of a demonic nature, and I'm using demonic differently um, than some people would use it because there are people that work with demons. I think that's how you say demons. So I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about demonic. I'm talking about anything, any type of spirit that has malicious intentions with a person. And some of these are human, some of these entities have not been human. So I'm using the word demonic in that sense, in a malicious. So you can even say like a malicious spirit or a malicious entity that just wants to find a host and live in that host. Um, and take energy from this host. So, like a psychic vampire of sorts that lives in your actual body. I have seen people's facial expressions change. I have seen people get supernatural strength. I have seen people speak languages that they've never spoken before. I have seen people's bodies contort where it's not humanly possible to be shifted in that way. I have been physically attacked by these things in exorcisms. I've come home with bruises. I've come home throwing up for 3 days. There has been times I have exorcised a person from a malicious spirit, and um, people, these entities or these once living people or these malicious entities have come back to try to do physical harm to me. So while there is spirits that are loving and want to give us messages or need our help, yes, but you also have spirits that are human, so they're if things like that, yeah, so they're not neither good nor bad. They're out to get something, and you have a relationship with them. They help you, you help them. So I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about spirits that are just malicious. They don't want help from you, they don't want your service, they just literally want to wreak havoc in your life. And I've seen that happen. I've seen spirit take people to death prematurely. They are spirits. There are things called shadow people that literally attack children, and a lot of children around the world have seen these things, and they tell them to do bad things, and kids do them and they get hurt because they get energy from ending of the life, or they have spirits that literally attack elderly people in their sleep, and they take the essence and things happen to them. I worked in a nursing home where it was haunted, and there was a floor that was literally closed off that nobody went to because there was like it appeared to be a child spirit, but it really wasn't a child spirit, and she did like a lot of malicious stuff. And a lot of the elderly people on that floor were getting hurt. People that were comatose and people that lost the ability to walk were literally somehow getting out of their bed, falling and getting hurt. This is documented. This is real. So hauntings do exist. And I do when I'm called to. I don't do it for everybody because I have to make sure that it's going to be successful and there's not going to be repercussions for me. I have gone to homes and investigated if somebody has a true haunting, things like that. When I go to you, when like especially the person's home, a lot of the times is out of state or something like that. I do give you hands-on baths and prayers and things, and let you be a part of the ritual and things like that. And there's certain requisites that I will ask you to have done before you can participate in a ritual, because I want to make sure everybody's safe in it. I will let you see what I'm doing hands-on so that when I'm not there, you can perform this set exorcism on your loved ones. Okay. Um, so I do those things. I give you the skills. I give you the one-on-one attention that you deserve. The only thing that I ask when I do these things is that the client pay for my traveling costs. And especially, like I said, if you're out of state, and I have to have a place to stay because I can't afford to do that out of pocket, and I shouldn't have to. So sometimes I've stood with the families and they have been okay with that. Some people are not comfortable with that, so they'll like put me up in a hotel or something like that. And whatever financial offering they want to give to me, that's always gladly taken. And I've never had anybody who didn't give me anything. They'll give me whatever they can. But I don't charge a set fee for it. I do charge for my readings, but an exorcism to me is a different animal. It's a different thing because um, I don't know, it's a calling that I have, and I was just raised like you're not really supposed to charge. I mean, you can do that if you want to. For exorcism, you can get an offering for it. Like, here's, a healing is different. I do charge for a healing. That's a different thing. But an actual exorcism, I usually just get an offering from the family, and, they help me with the expenses and things like that. So nothing comes out of pocket for me. Um, but it takes a huge toll on me physically. A lot of times I'm not able to work like for a whole day and things like that. A healing is different because it's going to require, yes, I'm going to heal you and everything like that, and we're going to have an energy exchange. But I'm also going to have to do some type of ritual to follow up on that, candle work and things of that nature. So there's a lot that goes into a healing, and that's why really the healings are to cover my costs for the things that I have to get for that healing. So I really don't make as much money as people think I do with candle work or healing because of all the stuff that I put into it. If I'm doing a spell work for you and it takes 9 days of me praying at the same time every day, then I can't do a reading at that time. So that means that's less money for me. So I'm very selective of who I do candle work for, or healing, or even an exorcism um, for, because I have to make sure, one, I'm safe, it's going to work, and this person's going to do their part as well. Um, a lot of my experiences with exorcism or people having to do exorcism has been, and this is what I wanted to talk about, and it's a little bit controversial, but I have to be authentic, right? Now, like I said, there are people that walk between the worlds and they haven't learned yet to close themselves off to malicious spirits. And that's very important. Knowing when to close that portal, how to close that portal, and how to close ourselves off to spiritual attacks is important. It's also important for us to do our due diligence research. Spiritual flow washes are important. Learning how to take a spiritual bath and all these first line of defense things. And then when I've come to people, I have taught them hands-on. This is how I've actually prepared baths for them and let them see how it's done. So when I'm not around, they can actually do that. How to really anoint a candle, what candles you need to do, what rituals you need to do. Like, I've done that one-on-one teaching with clients when they have asked for me to come and help them with a certain condition or situation. Um, so, your first line of defense is important. I've also had experiences where you might take an entity out and might try to come back, or something else comes through, and then I have to do follow-up work once I leave your residence, and do certain prayers to certain saints so that that spirit could stop doing what they're doing. So it takes more than one attempt at times for an exorcism. It'll be great and wonderful if it could be done in one shot. That's not always the case. It depends on this spirit. Or if that spirit leaves and something else comes through, which I've seen about 30% of the time. 70% of the time it leaves the first time I go there. But there have been some cases where we have to do additional follow-up stuff, which I'm willing to do, and as long as we work together, it will leave. Um, Another thing is some people, um, and this person asked permission to talk about this story, but I'm not going to say names. So I went and we took out the spirit or whatever, but they weren't honest about how the spirit got into the person in the first place. And when I did the reading, because I always do a reading, I said, I feel like someone in your family conjured up this spirit. And they were like, no, no, we just don't know what happened and things like that. And so once the spirit left, and I went back home and I did my thing, this was like entities again. They're like, well, I don't know, maybe it didn't come out, I don't know. And I told this person, I think that you invoked something when I left. No, no, no. And I'm like, my intuition's telling me. And then finally, after like 2 weeks after the incident, because this thing wouldn't leave, after we had done the exorcism and everything, they admitted to me, yes, after you left, we did a seance because we wanted to communicate with the spirit to see why it was attacking such and such. By doing that, you welcome the very spirit that I got rid of. You cannot communicate with a spirit after it's exorcised. You have to let them do their process, whether it's going into the light, whether it's going into purgatory, whatever the spirit's going to, they need to do what they need to do. And by you conjuring up a spirit that was already angry, that already possessed somebody, that already has basically on a few occasions almost made this person lose their life, you cannot do that. So I had to basically redo the whole thing all over again, give instructions again, and then get their life together. And the third time happened, and they did the same thing. And I was like, well, I'm sorry, but I cannot keep doing that because this entity came to my home twice, and I had to get rid of it. I know how to get rid of it, and it left. But I have children here. I have two almost adult children, but I also have minor children. I have one that's going to be 13, and the other at the time he was only 12, and my at that time she was 5. She's going to be 6 now. And I said, you're putting my children at risk. You saw that I was sick for 3 days. I couldn't do readings for 3 days. Like I lost money in that way because even what they gave me as a compensation, because they felt to do so, wasn't even covering the financial losses I had for not being able to do readings for a certain amount of days. So, when someone does an exorcism, if you get rid of a spirit, you're not supposed to try to contact it. Unless that spirit is repentant, that's a different case. Because there are times that a spirit would apologize to you, and that spirit will want to make amends with you and say, I want to guide you now because I did bad things. Yes, there are circumstances where a spirit might repent, and then you could do that. But a lot of times, 9 out of 10 times, they're not repentant. So why would you call a spirit that was not even good in real life and continues to be even a worse energy, where you can even say demonic, malicious, and malignant, and only wants to do harm? Why would you then go back and conjure that spirit? So I've learned with that situation, I told the person, I said, this is the last time I'm going to help you. If you continue to do this, I'm just going to leave you be. And you might have to go work with somebody else because I'm not going to continue to put myself at risk. So the last one was done. It's been a while, and it's gone for good. And I guess the third time the lesson was learned and things of that nature. And that's one of the main things that I've noticed. It doesn't mean that you cannot talk to spirits from beyond the grave, but I notice a lot of people don't do their research, haven't either they didn't read enough books, or they weren't trained, or whatever the case may be, that they didn't learn how to open up a ritual, how to close up a ritual, spiritual defenses. There's so much that goes into contacting spirits from the other side that you can't just watch one YouTube video or read one chapter or even sometimes read one book and know everything. So many unexpected things can happen once we open up that portal. And a lot of those times when people go into it blinded or gun ho like that, I've seen things happen. Or if they say, oh, I'm drawn to this spirit, but they didn't do their due diligence and their research, because I've seen this happen as well. They might anger the spirit, which I'm not gonna say is good or bad, but they're like they were once human and they have a human temperament, and they see like, wow, this person disrespected me, and then they literally wreak havoc in your life because you didn't understand that the spirit you're welcoming, maybe they don't like children. I've seen people that actually like, oh, I serve this spirit, that spirit, and if you did research, this spirit doesn't like kids. So there are certain spirits that don't like children that would literally like do things to children. Like they don't like kids. There are certain spirits that don't like to be around children at all. There are certain spirits that don't like alcohol offerings, or there's certain spirits that they didn't really want to work with you, but you kind of conjured them up and now they're mad because you woke them up and it's like, I don't even want to be here. You don't have the appropriate offerings. I never asked to work with you, and they're just angry and they mess up your life. I've had people that, oh, I have a calling and they want to do everything. They don't want to crawl before they walk. They don't want to walk before they run. They just want to run and just, I want to learn everything in one day. And that's why even when I mentor people, I'm very careful because knowledge is power, and you could either use it for your benefit, or you could use it in a negative way where it's going to wreak lots of horrible consequences in your life. And so, and then someone like me has to come in there and take away the spirit because you've tried to do it on your own and it didn't work. I've had people that like, I had my pastor come, I had this person come, it doesn't go away, and then I have to go there, and like I said, it takes a toll on me too. So I can't do that all the time for everybody, especially if I talk to this person like, we're not going to leave. I'm not going to go against a spirit that says I'm not going to leave, and if you do something, I'm going to ruin your life. I have to step away from that. You might have to seek out help even from outside of me. So sometimes it's just easier not to welcome something in if you actually don't know what it is. That's why research is important. Not everybody has a family of witches or spiritual practitioners that they can actually go to for everything, and I understand that. But they are reputable authors. They are reputable root workers like me, that if somebody really has a calling, doesn't mind mentoring you, and yes, you will pay for my time because that's the way it's supposed to be, and things like that. But you're going to get good information. You're going to learn how to do it properly, because there's certain ways that you do. It doesn't matter what tradition you follow. Every tradition has its way of doing things. And those ways are old and ancient for a reason, because our elders learned from trial and error how to do things where you're not going to get a bad consequence for it, and something that's going to pose itself as something else, because there are deceiving spirits that will pose themselves as something else because they're trying to get through that spiritual veil and into our worlds. They are just going to wreak havoc in your life. So there will be times that you might have to call somebody to get rid of a spirit, and I've done that and I do that. But there are times that you can avoid it. Now, there are times that you don't do anything. You don't do anything to conjure them up, and they just come. And that can happen. Like I said, some people are just more sensitive to seeing spirits. And just by learning how to appropriately know when to close yourself off spiritually, so you're only letting what is beneficial to you and what you want to come in. There are certain procedures you do, and I have taught people to do those things and have wonderful results for the most part. As long as they actually listen and work with me, it works. So there's a lot you can do to get rid of spirits, but sometimes just knowing certain little things could kind of leave you where you don't even have to go and seek outside help. You can do it yourself. That's why floor washes, like I said, um, burning certain herbs, not just sage, because there's more to cleansing than sage. There's other things you need to use to follow after you sage. Sage is not the end all be all of everything. I'm sorry. There's other things you can do. Sage removes, but when you remove energy, what are you putting in? When you remove, you have to put something in. So you have to know, what are the herbs that I burn after that, so that I can call in and do and bring in the energies that I do want, So it's a lot of stuff that's taken me so many years to learn myself. When I really got into this, I was pregnant with my son. He's going to be 13. You know what I'm saying? So like 14 years, 15, almost 15 years ago, I got into this path before my son and during the pregnancy of my son. So I'm going to say about 14 years really into it. And then these last, almost 6 years that I've been sharing and working with others on a professional level, it's taking me a long time. I have people like, oh, how did you run a successful business? Because I paid the price to do that, because I've been doing this for so long. It's really hard to just, come on YouTube and have a thriving business. I had a thriving business before I was on YouTube. Like I said, I had to work the psychic hotlines. A lot of people don't want to do that. But that's where I got a lot of my practices. That's where I got a lot of my clients from. And working on the hotline really helped me to learn what it is to be a professional reader, and then be able to do my time there. And then spirits moved me to get my own business. But I had my own business and my own clients before I got on YouTube. I was already established 6 years ago. I only had this channel for a year. So I didn't go on YouTube like, yeah, I'm going to be a millionaire overnight, or I'm going to have a whole bunch of money, because a lot of readers will tell you they don't get most of their business on YouTube. They get their business either because they already work a psychic hotline or they had a side business. Now, has it helped me to bring new people into my clientele? Yes. But the foundation of my clients have been clients I had before I even had this channel. I literally created this channel because my clients wanted me to share things with them, because a lot of times I work a lot and I don't get a lot of one-on-one time. So this is my way of giving back to my clients and building a community and meeting new people and getting feedback and things like that. So, but that's what I wanted to share with you guys today on this video. There are good spirits out there, but they are malicious spirits that literally just want to wreak havoc in people's lives. And we have to learn the difference, to have that discernment, to do the research. Sometimes it's better to start off small, especially when you're newer to the path, and then evolve. A lot of people that have been on this path, it's taken them a long time to get to where they are now. And this path is a path of always learning, always studying. Like I still, even though I have a relative and I was taught a lot of hands-on things, I have also done research outside of that person and learned a lot of other things, because I have spirits that come from other traditions. So I verse myself in that tradition, and I get teachers from that tradition to help me, because I don't want to disrespect spirits. Because again, sometimes the spirits that you have to actually either appease them by doing certain rituals or offerings, and then they're kind of, you get on their good side, and either they leave or they'll work with you because you respected them and things get better, or sometimes it can actually be something of a malicious kind. So there's different reasons for exorcism. It could be because it's an angry spirit that you offended. It could be because you conjured up something you didn't know what it was. It could also be because you're just somebody who's very spiritually sensitive and they want to attack that person because they want energy and they want to live again. A lot of spirits that died, especially the malicious kind, they just want to be alive again. And you have what they want, which is you're a living person. And they want to take that from you. And they want to take your energy, and they want to take your body and just be alive and feel things again. So not all spirits that want that are bad. I do get possessed by spirits and family members, and I do channel them, but that took, again, many years of training for me to be able to pass a spirit. I've been passing spirits since I was 15 years old, but I've been feeling them since I was 5. I was feeling them strongly when I was 9, but if you do the math, that's 10 years of me not being ready and me having to go through certain things in my life. So when I turned 15 years old, I was ready, because I learned what are the signs of when a negative spirit wants to come through, and how it's supposed to feel when it's a spirit that actually wants to heal. Because in voodoo and santeria, a lot of times when you pass the saints, okay, which some people call orishas or loas in voodoo, when you pass these saints, okay, they are there to heal. They are there to give messages to the community that's there for that ritual. That's different. They're not there to harm you. They're not there to hurt you. That's different. And then even in those practices, there are certain spirits that you should be more further along in your journey, because they can take a lot of your essence. Because letting spirits pass through yourself, it's very energetically exhausting. And so that takes a while for you to be able to do that in a safe manner. And that's why training and mentorship from the elders And even if you're called to, because not everybody has to get initiated, to be initiated and be an elder yourself someday, there's a certain requisite that you have to go through, that I've gone through, and I'm still going through that process. So, like I said, sometimes it's just getting into things you don't know what it is, and it could wreak havoc in your life. So that's what I wanted to share on this video. If you guys are interested in more exorcism stories or more paranormal stories, I can make more videos about that. I have so many stories to share. So much love, light, and blessings. Thank you so much for watching this video. And if you want to work with me one-on-one, either for mentorship, readings, or anything like that, shamanic.priestess.com. There's a link always on the bottom of my videos. When you click on the show more, it has a link that you could just click on it and go through my site or whatever. So until the next video, please please subscribe, and leave comments. I love when you guys comment on my stuff. It just makes me feel like, yay, somebody's watching. So much love, light, and blessings. Thank you so much for watching this video. Until the next video, and for those who celebrate, happy Thanksgiving, or like they say in español, feliz día de acción de gracia. Bye, guys.